wanted to talk really quickly about just how stupid Fortnite's challenges are now. Um, I miss the days when Epic Games didn't hold our hands at every turn. Partly, yeah, I write guides, and I like those guides to be actually useful. Because now it's just all spoon fed to players. In the legendary challenges currently going on in the game, one of them is to collect a vintage cat food can, and that could be a pretty interesting challenge. Like in the past, it would probably be like collect vintage cat food cans, and you'd have to find like five of them, and they'd be hidden all over the map, and you wouldn't know where they would be. But maybe when you got close to one, you'd hear a meow sound effect or something, like the old gnomes that you'd hear them giggling, and so you could find them, but you'd have to work at it a little bit, or you could go read a guide. But you'd have to work to do that. I mean, you'd have to stop and go look up a guide and figure it out, and that takes a little bit of work. Now we've got the challenge table in game and the in-game map. Both when you click on a challenge, it'll just show you where everything is. Like just boom, there you go. And that's like having a guide built into the game. And the only thing I'd say about that is that you shouldn't make it so easy right there. Like, yes, players are going to look up guides, but you might as well make them do the legwork to look up guides instead of just spelling it out for them. And that's the other thing that they do. Nowadays, every challenge is like, this challenge, for instance, is find a vintage or collect a vintage cat food can in Catty Corner or Craggy Cliffs. It tells you the locations, shows it on the map, and if you go to either of those locations, there's 4 different cat food cans in each location. You just need one. So there's 8 different locations total, and you just need one, and you're told where it is, and you can see it on the map in game. It's like, why even have that kind of challenge at this point? You don't make people look for it. You don't make people think about it. It's just all right there. Boom. It's not really a challenge at that point. So that's frustrating. I remember back in the day, they had, they would have you find, 7 gnomes or whatever, or they would do those search between challenges. Search between a camel, a high plateau, and a gas station or something. I don't know, but they'd make you go find these landmarks on the map and triangulate to where this would be. And yes, again, you could look up a guide, but it wasn't all, nowadays, if they made a search between on the map, it would just show the exact location anyways, and you wouldn't have to do any thinking or any legwork. That doesn't seem like a challenge to me. It just seems like a wasted opportunity. There are cool challenges these days. Like, I mean, collecting vintage cat food cans is potentially a really cool challenge. It's just too easy. And every now and then they surprise you and they come out with something really, really interesting, and they don't put it on the map in the game. A few seasons back, when they're doing the gnomes versus the teddy bears, those were cool challenges, but they were secret challenges, and so most people didn't even get to do them, didn't even know about them to begin with. Which brings me to like how they're organizing challenges these days, like all these NPCs and all these different tabs for different challenges. It gets kind of hard to follow, hard to track. You can't pause and like just have a list of the weekly challenges right there showing which ones you've done. That's all gone. So they've made it more difficult to actually find the challenges and read what the challenges are and keep track of what you've finished. But they've made it way easier once you actually go to a challenge to just see exactly where it is. And maybe this is just me. Maybe everybody loves this. Maybe people are like, no, it's good. I don't want to do those challenges anyways. I just want them spoon fed to me, which is fine. Whatever. I just think that challenges, succeeding at them, finishing them, should give you some sense of satisfaction, and this doesn't really. I mean, might as well just have a bunch of like damage and like eliminations challenges, because at least those require skill. They're not as fun. They don't add any flavor, and I like that these new legendary challenges add like narrative flavor. There's some sort of theme. They've done themed challenges in the past that have to do with battle pass skins. I love all that. I love the alien artifacts. I think that's great that there are those. But even there, when you're walking along, you'll see the little green, the little purple symbol on the mini map, so oh, there's an alien artifact right there. And that's better than just, showing it from the get-go, but it is, again, an instance of hand-holding. And I don't think that you need that. I think you can let players sort of figure things out once in a while and figure that out on their own. It reminds me a little bit of the new Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, where whenever you get to a puzzle, of any kind, you can just pause it and skip the puzzle. And anyone who's done these kind of puzzles knows that that's great, right? Because sometimes they're super frustrating and you'd rather just skip ahead, right? But at the same time, it takes away any of the sort of the satisfaction you would get by just actually solving the puzzle. I mean, sometimes puzzles are really hard, and when you finally get there, you're like, yes, I figured it out. And that's a good feeling. And if you can just skip that, you never get to have that feeling, which reminds me of like Dark Souls. And every time we have a new Dark Souls game or Dark Souls adjacent game, there's the conversation about easy mode. Well, easy mode would take away a lot of what makes Dark Souls special. And it would take it away from everyone, because right now it's a shared experience. Everyone has to go through the gauntlet together. No one gets an easy mode to help them along. You can always summon people to help you, and then you get that's easy mode, basically. It really is. But yeah, it just you lose something. You lose some satisfaction at completing the challenges or beating the boss or solving the puzzle or whatever it is. I don't like that tendency in games. I don't like that tendency in Fortnite, and I really wish they would go back to having more creative challenges, or at least the creative ones, because they still do have creative challenges, but at least those ones were less obvious. There shouldn't be 8 locations at Lazy Lake to find this stupid vase. There should just be one, and you shouldn't say it's in Lazy Lake. You should say it's near a swimming pool or something, You can give hints, but they should be hints, not explicit directions. It's not a challenge if you say, go to this place, here's a marker on the map. That's a guide, not a challenge. You shouldn't bake your guides into your challenges. It's weird quest design. It feels like they're dumbing it down to the lowest common denominator so that everyone can finish all the challenges. And that shouldn't be the case. People should have to work for it, whether that's scavenger hunts or eliminations or whatever it is. So that is my rant on that. And I know it doesn't really matter in the big scheme of things, but it's just one of those tendencies in modern gaming that bothers me. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Peace.